you all very much for being here. I am delighted to be performing at the Bright Club Shakespeare event, mainly because I've been doing comedy for 10 years. I don't know a whole lot about Shakespeare, but I tried for the sake of the set. So go with me, folks. But I was so excited to do this gig because this is the first gig in 10 years that I can perform at where my facial hair is not a stupid affectation, but is in fact thematically apt. I look exactly like I should be. Fuck yeah, man. Elliott over here. This is the only gig I've ever done where I fit in and it's you clean-shaven fucks who look weird. But you people, don't you know nothing about Elizabethan fashion? Let me ruffle your collars. Alright, that's stupid. And whoever went wah-wah at the Shakespeare pun earlier, you better polish up that trumpet, because there's going to be a lot of that shit going on all night. I am also, as an American, just absolutely delighted to be in a room full of people who also don't give a shit about soccer. Yeah. Woo! That's right, fuck your stupid game. I mean, kinda, yeah. But anyway, the only redeeming quality soccer has is that it makes it socially acceptable to be unbelievably racist. Like, it's incredible! I can't yell, fuck off, you Portuguese bastard, anywhere else in life. Unless I'm watching them play. In which case people are like, not like, oh, he's a racist. They're like, oh, that guy's got a lot of passion for the game. But anyway, I'm here to talk about Shakespeare. I come not to praise Shakespeare, but to roast him. Bald. Have you ever seen a guy who did not accept he was bald more than William Shakespeare? Total top of his head gone, and like, hey man, you want to try to trim that shit on the sides? And he was like, fuck no, I'm gonna grow it out all the way around the back, like an all-over head mullet. That's what I'm going for. Fucking business in the front, party on every angle, baby. I perform in the round. All right, that's. And the comedian checks his notes. I don't want to talk about too many different topics, like I say, because I don't know that much. I want to start with Hamlet, which I'm embarrassed to say I saw first time, whole life, last year. Seen it twice since, so I'm kind of up on it. But Hamlet was amazing to me. If you've only seen Hamlet for the first time, like in your 30s, you recognize so many of the lines already that you're like, this guy's a fucking hack. All he's using are cliches. I've heard all of this shit. I could write a whole play with just common sayings that everybody knows. Where's my genius? It was in Hamlet that I discovered that if you are a playwright, I discovered the magic of offstage. Because we're about 3/4 of the way through Hamlet. Hamlet is bound in chains with armed guards, and they put him on a boat to England. And I'm watching the play, I'm going, oh man, Hamlet is fucked. Like, you've been sitting around pontificating for too long, man. They got you. What's the matter with you? To be or not to be? I guess it's not to be, you fucking 30-year-old emo goth kid. What's the matter? Just fucking kill him. But yeah, he's on a boat now. Okay, I wonder who the story's gonna be about now. Hamlet shows up in the next scene, and everyone was like, hey, Hamlet, what happens? And Hamlet goes, you'll never believe what happened. Just off stage, why a band of pirates, don't you know? And everybody in the audience was like, oh yeah, totally, fucking pirates. I was like, pirates? Fuck off, man, we're not in the Caribbean here, this is bullshit. You were being sent away to your death, and the fucking playwright here, Billy Boy, was sitting there going, oh, I think I've written myself into a little bit of a corner. I need an offstage deus ex crapula to bring this back. Yeah, they were pirates that killed everybody else. Not me, though. They decided to bring me back home safe and sound. Anyway, where were we? I was about to kill my stepfather, and everybody just accepted it. And that's why I realized, like, the magic of offstage, man. Anytime you get into trouble as a writer, you don't need to settle it. You just need to cut to another scene and have some guy run in and go, well, that was crazy. You'll never believe it. I like the ending of Hamlet a lot. It's a bloodbath at the end of it. It's carnage on stage. Everybody's dead. Hamlet is dead. Laertes is dead. Gertrude is dead. Fucking, I wrote down all the names. Claudius! I was gonna say his dad, but it's not his dad. Claudius is dead too. Everybody's just laying there, gushing blood, massive sword fight. Fortinbras shows up. Invading army, here for a little regime change. Shows up. The play totally could have ended right there. Hey, everybody's dead. But right before the play ends, somebody else comes in from off stage and goes, you'll never guess what happened. You remember those two guys earlier, Rosencrantz and Guildenstern? They're fucking dead too. They're totally dead. This is a bloodbath where everybody in here that's taking count of all the bodies that are dead, add 2, because there's 2 more dead guys in England. I don't want anybody leaving here, audience, thinking that anybody made it out of this shit alive. They're both dead. The play totally could have ended without ever saying what happened to Rosencrantz and Guildenstern. We didn't need to know. They were out in England. They weren't. Everybody that was connected to them in the play is now dead. They were Hamlet's school buddies. They probably knew who Ophelia was. Didn't mention Ophelia. Ophelia's dead too. Suicide. Funny story. But there's no reason you could have just said, hey, Rosencrantz and Guildenstern, whatever happened to them? Oh, well, they got exiled. Who gives a shit? No. Shakespeare makes sure to go, oh, no, they're fucking dead too. 2 more dead guys. That's how tragic this is. There's 2 remaining dead people who have vaguely Hebrew names. I don't know why that's important, but it feels like it is. I mentioned earlier that... sorry. Photo of the comedian not able to get through his set without his crutch. Okay. I mentioned earlier about how Hamlet has got a million Shakespeare, quotes that have just made it into daily life, so much so that you think that I think they're hack if somebody uses them, because they're very common quotes. I wish there was one more though that I don't think made it, because I would love to be able to refer to a really, really ugly person as a Yorick. And my reasoning there is that you gotta be pretty goddamn ugly for me to be able to recognize you by the shape of your skull alone. Like, that's bad. That's really, like, most people, if they're ugly, like, they're a little fucked up in the face, a little high, low, big nose, something, but all of that would go away if you're buried for about 100 years. Everybody after 100 years of rotting is about the same attractiveness, not Yorick. Yorick is so fucking goofy looking that people are like, ew, skulls. Wait a minute, I know that guy. Holy shit. I only say that because I work with a guy who's a total fucking York. I want to talk about Othello real quick. I don't have a whole lot to say about Othello himself. I just kind of want to talk about, I think I hate her more than any woman in Shakespeare. Fucking Desdemona is the weakest piece of garbage I've ever seen in my life. All she does is complain the whole time. She gets a bad rap, let me tell you, okay? Desdemona does not have an easy time of it, but all she does is complain the whole time. It's fucking Desdemona over here. She gets accused of sleeping with somebody else, and she never really even defends herself. And then she wakes up in the middle of the night one night, she's like, oh, hey, who's that? Oh, shit, Othello. What are you doing here? Thinking about killing? Oh! And even then, she doesn't defend herself. She's like, well, I certainly hope it's not me you're thinking about killing up there. And he's like, yeah, I kind of am. And she's like, she immediately just goes like, oh, please, not right now. Like, that's her whole thing. She's like, no, please, it wasn't me. It wasn't me, but please have mercy. Banish me. I love it when she goes, he's like, no, I'm not going to banish you. And she goes, kill me tomorrow! If you got a guy staring at you with murderous rage, what are the odds that kill me tomorrow is gonna work? You know what, you're right, it's kind of late. Jesus, look at the time. What do you say we both get a good night's sleep, you stay right here, don't tell nobody what I was gonna do, and I will be back tomorrow. My favorite back and forth in that is when she makes a good point about how she's loved him her whole life, and he just goes, peace, be quiet. And she's like, okay. And I'm like, you know what, that's bullshit? She's Italian. My mom's Italian. You know what Italian women don't take well to? Peace, be quiet. They do not respond to that at all. Nobody's ever told an Italian woman, shut up. Okay. That's not how that exchange fucking goes. And she's like, oh no, please. So he murders her, of course. And then Amelia comes in. Amelia comes in, and Amelia is what I imagine an Italian woman is like. Because she's like, you just fucking murdered her. And Othello was like, you shut up or I'll kill you. And her answer is, go ahead! I can totally see that out of a woman from Venice. You don't say another word or I'll kill you. Go right ahead! See if I care. And then Iago shows up, her own husband, is like, hey, look, shut the fuck up, go home. She's like, no, I'm not gonna go home, and maybe I'll never go home. You can practically see her doing this the whole fucking time. Amelia is a badass. Desdemona sucks. All right, one more thing. The theme of this whole thing. Look, it's not. This was never going to be pretty. I had a whole bunch of Shakespeare jokes written ever since I saw Hamlet. I wrote that offstage bit, and I've been writing these Shakespeare jokes. I was watching The Hollow Crown. I don't know why I'm writing Shakespeare jokes, because there's no comedy club on earth that I can do Shakespeare jokes in. Like, I'm doing the Laughter Lounge all weekend long. I can't do none of this shit here. I can't do none of it. Desde who? What the fuck is he talking about? Anyway, but the theme of this, of course, 400th anniversary of the man's death after a night out drinking. Come on, man. Anyway, like, how big was that part? I don't buy it. As Shakespeare lives, and Shakespeare is relevant to us, and I think if you're looking at the histories, you can really see that Shakespeare is relevant to us, because the message I took, and again, I'm not a scholar, you're going to hear from scholars, I'm probably wrong about everything you've heard, but the message that I took from watching all of the histories is that Shakespeare thought that the mechanism by which that the powerful stay in power is fucking bullshit and morally bankrupt, and none of us should listen to it. And the reason I think that that is so relevant is that in November, my country is going to ask me who I would like to be president out of the charming twosome of Hillary Clinton and Donald Trump. And and this is the choice that I'm forced into. And that's the message that I take from Shakespeare's histories. It started, Richard II kicks off, and the people are like, we gotta they just completely depose him. They just yank him off the throne, and they're like, sorry, you're not running the country too good. I know it's supposed to be that you're actually the manifestation of God made flesh. But you know what, fuck that, you suck, we don't like you, he's out. And just completely removes the legitimacy of him. You get about 5 or 6 Henry plays later, and Richard III doesn't even have that kind of a justification. He doesn't even go like, it would be better for the country. Richard III just looks at the audience and goes, well, I can lie. Why shouldn't I get a crown? And nothing drives that home like Donald fucking Trump in my country. I gotta tell you. And you know what? I think Shakespeare got so fucking sick of writing these history plays. I think he got sick of, but he was being paid by the royalty to write all these, and he thought it was all morally bankrupt and crappy. So at the beginning of Henry VIII, he burned down his own goddamn theater. That's what he did. That's my 9/11 globe conspiracy theory. Shakespeare did it himself. There is an election coming up in my country. I, of course, am going to support Hillary Clinton, not because I give a shit about Hillary Clinton, but because I believe to the core of my soul that Bill Clinton will be the greatest first lady my country has ever had. I think he'll be incredible at that job. Like, if you think about it, the first lady, you know, she can only get into politics if she wants to. The first lady's only real job is that visiting dignitaries and heads of state come to Washington, D.C. The first lady's job is to entertain their wives while their husbands are in D.C. And Bill Clinton was put on earth to play this part, baby. Guys, I can't thank you enough. My name is Jim Elliott. Have a good night.